To act like a millionaire is not a fantasy. It is a spiritual command. It is not an ambition rooted in vanity, but a decree spoken from the center of your being. A declaration that what you imagine yourself to be, you become. And when you assume the state of the millionaire in your inner world, the outer world cannot help but obey. The universe responds not to struggle, not to effort, not to desperation, but to assumption. The quiet, confident, and unshakable knowing that you are already what you have desired to be. You see, everything begins in imagination. Everything you can see, touch, taste, and hold once existed as nothing more than a formless thought. The skyscrapers towering over cities began in someone's mind. The wealth sitting in bank accounts, the homes on hills, the cars that glide through streets, all of it began in imagination. That is the true place of power. That is where reality is born. If you would only dare to act from that space, not like someone waiting to become rich, but as one who already is, you would find the entire universe arranging itself to prove you right. There is a sacred law hidden in plain sight, yet missed by so many. That law is this: you do not get what you want, you get what you are. And what you are is revealed by what you believe yourself to be. Most people try to change their outer world while remaining internally rooted in lack, in fear, in limitation. They speak of millions but feel like beggars. They dream of wealth but walk in doubt. And the universe, ever so loyal, reflects back to them their dominant inner state. To act like a millionaire now is to live in the end. To accept that the wish is fulfilled before any proof arrives. It is to refuse to entertain contrary evidence. It is to walk through life clothed in wealth, inwardly, even if your bank account says otherwise. You do not need a single dollar to begin this process. You only need imagination and faith. The conviction that what you assume within will harden into fact without. When you act like a millionaire now, you are not pretending in the shallow sense. You are not lying to yourself. You are aligning with the truth of who you are on a higher level. You are tuning in to the frequency of abundance. You are making real the unseen reality that already exists in another dimension. You are simply collapsing time. And the moment you persist in that state, everything not in harmony with your new identity begins to fall away. The people, circumstances, and conditions around you start shifting, often in ways you cannot predict. Opportunities that seemed locked away appear from nowhere. Resources you never considered begin to flow. Doors open, coincidences multiply, and none of this happens because you worked harder or begged louder. It happens because you became the version of you that already had it. Acting like a millionaire now does not mean going into debt or faking wealth with hollow gestures. It means carrying the energy, the mindset, the confidence, and the grace of wealth. It means knowing that you are worthy. It means feeling the gratitude of already having received. It means walking through your day with the peace and joy that comes from fulfilled desire. That inner shift is the seed from which all outer riches grow. You cannot manifest wealth from a place of lack. You cannot become rich by declaring how poor you are. Every time you complain about your situation, you anchor yourself deeper into it. Every time you feel unworthy, you close the gates of abundance. But when you persist in the assumption that you are already a millionaire, not will be, not hope to be, but already are, then the universe has no choice but to mirror that back to you. Your world is yourself pushed out. Every person you meet, every event you experience, every opportunity that comes your way, all of it reflects your state of being. And if your state is wealth, if your assumption is abundance, then wealth must come. Not because you chased it, but because you became it. Wealth does not respond to pursuit. It responds to vibration. And the vibration of wealth is certainty, ease, generosity, and trust. Look around you now. What do you see? Your surroundings are a printout of your past assumptions. If they displease you, do not curse them. Change them at the source. Change them in your imagination. See yourself already living in that house. Feel yourself already driving that car. Walk with the bearing of one who has arrived. And in time, if you persist and do not doubt, the world must conform. You are not here to beg life for scraps. You are not here to be a slave to circumstance. You are here to create, to shape, mold and command reality from within. You have been given the infinite power of imagination, and yet so few use it consciously. They use it to worry, to rehearse fear, to imagine worst-case scenarios. But what if you used it with intention? What if you used it to live in the end? Imagine waking up in the morning and feeling the same excitement you would feel if you had already achieved your financial dreams. Imagine walking into every room knowing you belong. Imagine checking your bank account with calm, steady confidence. This is not fantasy. This is the rehearsal of reality. And when you rehearse the scene enough, it must play out. Your mind cannot hold on to a dominant belief and not have it materialize. So, act like a millionaire now, not tomorrow, not when the money comes. Now, because the money comes after the assumption, never before, and you hold the key. It is not in effort but in belief, not in doing but in being. The inner state precedes the outer form. Start today. Begin with simple acts. Speak to yourself like a millionaire would. Treat your time as valuable. Be selective with your focus. Refuse to entertain thoughts of failure or poverty. Celebrate even the smallest evidence of abundance. Let every moment be an affirmation of who you now are. If you saw yourself as a millionaire, how would you walk? How would you talk? How would you think, feel, and move? Let those questions guide you. Not someday, but now. The more you live from that identity, the faster the world molds to it. The universe is not delaying your desires, you are. By waiting to feel rich until you're rich, you stay poor. But when you feel rich first, the riches follow. This is the grand secret. This is the golden path. You do not climb to wealth, you assume wealth, and let the climb be automatic. Every day, act as if your wish were fulfilled. Speak the words you would speak. Feel the joy you would feel. Give thanks for what you have not yet seen. This is not denial of reality. This is creation of it. Those who understand this live lives of magic. They manifest with ease. They are not victims of chance but masters of their world. And you are no different. You were born with the same power. You only need to use it. Most people ask, when will it happen? But the wise ask, who must I be for it to happen now? And the answer is simple. Be the millionaire. Not wish, not hope, not want. Be. Let your identity precede the evidence. Let your imagination lead the way. And when doubts come, as they will, do not resist them. Simply return to the state. Close your eyes. Reimagine the scene. Feel it again. Dwell in it until it feels real. And do it again and again until you forget what it felt like to doubt. The outer world may take a little time to catch up, but it always catches up. It must. It is law. What you are in consciousness you will become in form. The world obeys your inner command. So speak from the mountaintop. Speak as one who already has, and you will soon find that what you once desired is now just part of your normal. Let this be your daily practice. In every moment, ask yourself, am I acting from the old me or the new me? Am I embodying poverty or wealth? And if the answer is anything but wealth, shift. Not tomorrow, now. Because the only moment you ever have power is now. The old story may try to pull you back. The voices of doubt may rise, but they only have power if you listen. You are not your past. You are not your current conditions. You are what you assume yourself to be. And if you persist in that assumption, the world will bend to it. Do not seek permission. Do not wait for signs. The sign you seek is your feeling. If it feels like truth, it is. If it feels like freedom, it is. If it feels like peace, it is. The universe speaks the language of vibration, and it listens to the frequency you emit. And the frequency of wealth is available to you now. So, act like a millionaire now. Think from the end. Speak from the end. Walk from the end. Let your internal world declare that you are already who you long to be, and let the external world follow, as it must. You are the author of your reality. You are the dreamer of the dream. You are the one who commands the universe with your assumptions. And the universe, ever faithful, ever obedient, always says, yes. There is no secret force outside of you holding your desires hostage. There is no barrier between you and the life you want, except for the identity you are refusing to wear. The moment you dare to put it on, truly wear it, feel it, live it, The illusion of separation vanishes. You are no longer becoming rich. You are rich, and because you are rich, you no longer chase. You no longer beg. You no longer wait. You know. And from that knowing comes ease. From that ease, inspiration. From inspiration, action. And from action aligned with your true identity, results. Not forced results, not desperate efforts, but effortless unfolding. You become magnetic, drawing in all that matches the new self you've embodied. People treat you differently. Not because they've changed, but because you have. Circumstances shape themselves around the image you hold within. Money begins to flow, not as something chased, but something attracted. A natural consequence of who you've become. You begin to see beauty where there once was struggle. You start noticing abundance in unexpected places. You feel grateful for what others overlook. You smile more, trust more, breathe deeper. And that calm certainty becomes the fertile ground upon which miracles appear. Not because you forced life to bend, but because you stepped into alignment with the version of you that already had everything. Let this truth sink in. There is no power outside your own consciousness. Nothing is coming to save you. Nothing is coming to give you what you haven't first accepted for yourself. Once you claim it inside, you no longer have to worry about the when or the how. The when will be perfect. The how will be handled. Your only job is to dwell in the state. You may not see immediate evidence, but don't be fooled. Seeds take time to sprout. The moment you assume the state, the seed is planted. Nurture it with belief, water it with gratitude. Guard it against the weeds of doubt and fear. Speak life over it every day. And trust. Trust that just beneath the surface, life is moving. Things are shifting. Energy is organizing itself on your behalf. What you cannot see is more real than what you can, because the unseen creates the seen. This is why your inner conversations matter more than your outer ones. Speak to yourself like you would if the money were already yours. Think the thoughts you would think if your financial dreams were already real. Feel the emotions you would feel if you woke up tomorrow and nothing was lacking. Because when you do, you bring the future into the now. And the now is where all power lives. There is no such thing as a distant dream. There is only a distant self-image. Change the image, and the dream comes near. Act like a millionaire now, and you eliminate the space between desire and fulfillment. You fuse with your goal. You become the outcome. You are no longer on the journey. You are the destination. And as you walk in that consciousness, you begin to bless the world with your abundance. You give freely, not because you're trying to get more, but because you already have more than enough. You inspire others without even trying, because your very presence carries the fragrance of wealth. People feel safe around you. They trust you. They want to be near you. Not because you flaunt riches, but because you radiate something deeper. Certainty, clarity, identity. This is how true wealth manifests, not as a pile of money, but as an embodiment of worth. You become someone who is no longer trying to get rich, but is simply expressing richness in every moment. And in that expression, the riches multiply. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. You stop waiting for permission and begin declaring your truth. You stop playing small and start owning the vastness of your being. And the more you do, the more reality bows in agreement. Not because you asked nicely, but because you stood boldly. And when challenges arise, as they sometimes will, you won't panic, because the millionaire you have become within does not fear lack. The millionaire within knows that even setbacks are setups, that even delays are part of the divine choreography, that nothing can truly go wrong, because everything bends in service of your assumption. You are not at the mercy of statistics, of markets, of the opinions of others. You are governed only by your inner world, and the moment you align with wealth internally, the entire universe reorganizes to reflect that wealth externally. It has no choice. The law is fixed. Begin to live from the truth that your wealth is not coming. It is already here, and you are simply becoming aware of it. Every day is another opportunity to step deeper into that identity. Every moment is another chance to think, feel, speak, and act from the end. And in doing so, you make yourself a channel through which the energy of abundance flows effortlessly. You become the open door through which the universe pours its riches. Not because you forced it, but because you became it. You allowed it. You claimed it. Let nothing distract you from this state. Let no evidence of the senses pull you back into the old self. If the outer world contradicts your inner knowing, remind yourself that the outer is a shadow, and the shadow must yield to the light of assumption. There is no more waiting, no more hoping, no more bargaining with life. The moment of decision is now. You are who you say you are. And if you say you are a millionaire, and believe it, and feel it, and live from it, then so it must be. You must no longer ask how long will it take, because time is not your master. Your assumption is. The only delays are the ones you entertain by doubting. The moment you let go of time and begin to occupy the feeling of the fulfilled desire, you step into timelessness. In this sacred space, the impossible becomes possible. The unseen becomes seen, and what was once far off begins to materialize around you like a dream becoming flesh. You don't need to wait for signs. You are the sign. Your shift in consciousness is the only green light you'll ever need. So you rise in the morning, not as the version who hopes to succeed, but as the one who already has. You put on your identity like you would your clothes. You wear the success, the poise, the generosity, the lightness of one whose desire has been fulfilled. Your inner conversations reflect this. Your imagination reflects this. Your decisions reflect this. No matter what happens, you remain in that state, because it is not about conditions, it is about consciousness. Your world is a mirror, and it must reflect back what you persistently feel to be true. If ever you forget, simply return. Close your eyes, and enter the scene again. Feel the keys of your new car in your hand. Smell the leather of your dream home. Hear the joyful laughter of your financial freedom. Touch the richness of your new reality with your inner senses. Do not wait for proof to feel. Feel it first, and proof will come. There is no force more powerful than an individual who lives from their imagination. They are no longer ruled by logic or appearances. They understand that everything seen was once unseen, and everything experienced was first assumed. They do not doubt, because they know the truth, that the universe is obedient to the inner command. When you speak as though the thing already is, when you think as though it has already happened, the unseen begins to move, shape, and assemble itself, until the picture in your mind becomes the picture in your life. So you persist, not with strain, not with force, but with faith. Quiet, calm, unwavering faith. You don't chase, you attract. You don't react, you create. You don't wish, you assume. And assumption, sustained over time, becomes reality. Others may not understand. They may look at your outer world and say, but you don't have it yet. Let them. They are seeing yesterday's manifestation, not today's truth. You walk not by sight, but by inner knowing. You understand that feeling is the secret, that your world must bend to the tone of your being, that when you radiate abundance, abundance finds you. When you live as if you already have, then you will. You're not waiting to become the version of yourself that has it all. You are that version now. And every thought, every word, every choice you make confirms it. You no longer explain your dream. You express it. You no longer seek evidence. You provide it by being it. And the more you persist, the more natural it becomes. Until one day you wake up, and the world outside looks exactly like what you once only dared to feel inside. This is how all great transformations occur, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. The world changes because you changed. The people around you shift because your vibration did. The opportunities, the money, the lifestyle, all of it magnetized to your new identity. You don't beg for it. You become it. And when you become it, nothing can keep it from you. This is the power that has been sleeping inside you all along. The power to choose your state and remain there. The power to feel what you want until it hardens into fact. The power to rise, moment after moment, as the millionaire version of you, no matter what your circumstances scream. You no longer give energy to doubt. Doubt is the thief of your wealth. It sneaks in through your emotions, your questions, your fear of failure. But you are no longer available for that. You are aligned with the certainty that what you have accepted as real must come. Not maybe, not someday, must. That is the law. That is the promise. And as you continue to live from this place, as you show up every day in the energy of already having, you become unstoppable. The world begins to shape itself in your favor. Doors open with ease. People begin to treat you differently. Money arrives in ways you didn't expect. Ideas flow effortlessly. Everything begins to feel orchestrated, because it is. The universe is not random. It is precise. It matches your internal vibration with external manifestations. It brings you not what you want, but who you are. And when you declare that you are already the millionaire, and truly feel it, then reality bows to that declaration. The outer world submits to your inner truth. So breathe into that. Walk in that. Feel into that. Let every step you take be guided by the rhythm of abundance. Let every decision be made from the knowing that you cannot fail. Let your entire life become a celebration of what already is, not in the physical, yet, but in the spirit. And the spirit always manifests. Do not wait until the money arrives to feel free. Feel free now, and the money must arrive. Do not wait until the world tells you you've made it. Tell yourself now, and watch the world follow suit. You are the master key. You are the operant power. You are the center of creation. And the moment you step fully into that truth, the world is yours. You no longer need signs, for you have become the sign. You no longer need validation, because your feeling is the only confirmation you require. You walk with the stillness of one who knows, not hopes, not wishes, knows. You understand that the richest people in the world became rich twice, first in imagination, then in form. And now you have done the same. You have become rich within, and the outer world is merely catching up, piece by piece, in perfect order. Each day you carry this truth like a quiet flame, never allowing it to be blown out by the winds of doubt or the noise of circumstance. And even when others don't see it yet, you smile, because you know that what is not yet visible is still very much real. In fact, it is more real, because it lives in the creative realm, where all things are born. Your job is not to force its arrival, but to feel it into being. And you do that by living from the end, not journeying toward it. This is where most lose their way. They think they must climb step by step, that they must earn, deserve, or work their way into the life they want. But the truth is so much simpler. You assume the state, and life responds. You do not rise by effort. You rise by embodiment. You do not hustle your way into the millionaire self. You return to it. Because in the deepest sense, you've always been that version of you. You've only forgotten. And now you remember. You remember how it feels to walk into a room and own it, not out of arrogance, but alignment. You remember how it feels to bless others with your presence, not because you need attention, but because you are overflowing. You remember what it's like to have more than enough, time, energy, freedom, joy, resources, because you have stopped identifying with lack. You remember that abundance is not a condition, it is a choice, and you have chosen. And this choice becomes easier each day, not because the world has changed, but because your state has. The world is merely echoing back your inner voice. And now that your voice speaks from wealth, your echoes return as opportunities, money, connections, and miracles. You look around and realize, it was never about the world changing first. It was always about you, and you have changed. There is nothing left to wait for. The version of you who lives the life you desire is not far away. That version is within, right here, right now, available the moment you claim it. No one can stop you. No one can take it from you. No one can tell you otherwise, unless you allow them to. But you don't, because you've made a decision so firm, so final, so unshakable, that nothing can move it. You are that version now. You have crossed the line. You begin to notice new patterns forming in your life. Unexpected windfalls, invitations, compliments, synchronicities that feel too perfect to be coincidence. But you smile, not because you're surprised, but because you expected it. This is what happens when you align with truth. Reality bends around the vibration you hold. And now that you've raised your vibration to match that of the millionaire life must follow. It cannot resist you. So you stay in this place. You dwell here. You make this your home. You return again and again to the feeling of already having. You let it become your natural state. Not a technique, not a wish, not a momentary trick of the mind, but your permanent residence. You feel yourself living from the future, not toward it. And that changes everything. You don't check your bank account with worry. You check it with gratitude. You don't speak of lack. You speak of overflow. You don't imagine struggle. You imagine expansion. You don't look around in frustration. You look within in faith. Because the new you, the real you, lives from a different world. A world of possibility. A world of power. A world where everything is responding to your assumption. You no longer fear failure. You no longer chase after signs. You no longer question whether you're worthy. You know you are. And that knowing begins to shape your posture, your speech, your decisions. You no longer shrink to fit into old patterns. You expand, effortlessly, into the fullness of who you've always been. And in doing so, you give others permission to rise as well. You become a living example of what's possible. Not by shouting about your success, but by living it. Quietly, powerfully, authentically. You attract, not through manipulation, but through being. You draw wealth, not because you need it, but because you are a match to it. You influence, not by force, but by frequency. And that frequency is freedom. You no longer strive to convince anyone of your transformation, because your life becomes the evidence. Your very presence communicates abundance. Your energy speaks louder than words. People feel something around you, a calm assurance, a quiet strength, a magnetic certainty that cannot be faked. And that certainty is what reshapes your reality, day by day, moment by moment. The invisible patterns of your consciousness begin casting visible shadows in the material world. Money flows, success gathers, opportunities multiply. Not because you did more, but because you became more. You realize that the outer journey was always a mirror of the inner one. All the effort, all the struggle, all the plans and strategies, none of them mattered until the internal state shifted. And once it did, everything accelerated. You moved beyond the noise of action into the clarity of being. And from that clarity, your steps became sure. You no longer second guess. You no longer worry. You no longer dwell in what's missing. Because nothing is missing. It's all here, now, in you, through you, as you. The people around you begin to sense it too. They don't know what changed, but they feel it. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You no longer ask for what you already own in spirit. You simply express it. The waiting is over. The delay has passed. The gap between your desire and its manifestation has collapsed, because your consciousness no longer sustains the separation. You live in unity now. Thought, feeling, and reality, moving as one. You've discovered the secret that most spend lifetimes missing, that you only ever needed to change one thing, your state. Not your job, not your location, not your connections, just your self-concept. And once that changed, everything followed. You didn't need permission. You didn't need proof. You only needed the courage to claim the truth as real before the world agreed. You see now that faith is not waiting. Faith is claiming. You see that imagination is not an escape. It is the blueprint of all creation. You see that abundance was never something you needed to find. It was something you were meant to embody. And now, fully and finally, you do. You walk in the fullness of your inner wealth. You move through the world with the rhythm of one who knows that all things are working in your favor. Every delay was preparation. Every setback was setup. Every closed door was redirecting you to the open gate of your own assumption. Even your desires now feel different. You no longer desire from lack. You desire from expansion. You want more, not because you need more, but because you are more. The desires of the old self were rooted in survival, but your new desires are rooted in creation. You live to express, not impress. You move to serve, not seek. You know now that life is not happening to you, but through you. And your every word, your every belief, your every assumption, they are all shaping the unfolding of that life in divine perfection. There is no more fight, no more resistance, no more battle with what is, because what is now feels like a friend. It no longer intimidates you. It no longer controls your emotions. You know that whatever appears around you is just the reflection of what was, and you hold the brush to paint what will be. You know that reality is fluid, and you are the one who gives it form. You are the dreamer, and the dream. You are the creator, and the creation. You are the cause, and life is the effect. So you continue. You rise each day not seeking to become, but to express what you already are. You sit with your imagination as the architect sits with his blueprint. You close your eyes and feel it real, because you know that feeling is the bridge. You do not need to explain this to the world. You simply live it, quietly, boldly, consistently, and soon the world catches up. People begin to say, "You've changed," and you smile, because you know, you didn't change. You returned. You came back to your true self, the one who always knew that the moment you acted like the millionaire version of you, the universe would obey. You walk differently now, not because you're pretending, but because your soul remembers. It remembers the version of you who never doubted, who never questioned, who never feared whether the dream would come. It remembers the one who knew that the moment you claimed it in feeling, the universe rearranged itself to bring it about. And because of that remembering, you live your life as if everything is already done. You speak as if the promise has been kept. You act as if the wealth has arrived, because in truth, it already has. You're no longer entertaining the illusion of waiting. You've moved beyond time. The air around you is different. You've become an energetic match to riches, not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally. You are rich in confidence, rich in peace, rich in certainty, and those inner riches now pour into your outer life. You attract circumstances that align with your new vibration. You notice ideas that you once missed. You make decisions with boldness, not because of what you see, but because of what you know within. That knowing has become your compass, and it never fails. Even when things appear slow or still, you are not moved by it. You have transcended appearances. You have matured into the realization that faith is not measured by evidence. It is measured by feeling, and your feeling is rich. Your spirit is abundant. Your entire being radiates a silent command to the universe. I already am. And the universe, so obedient, so exact, so responsive, continues to reflect your new identity in perfect detail. Not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. The right people, the perfect opportunities, the precise amounts, the seemingly impossible paths made straight. You have become the magnet, not because of effort, but because of alignment. Not because of luck, but because of law. The law that governs all creation, that what you assume to be true, becomes your world. There is a freedom now that you never felt before. You are no longer chasing, and that means you are no longer being chased by fear. You've stopped running. You've planted your flag in the invisible, and now the visible must bow to it. No more doubt, no more trying, no more seeking. You live from the fulfilled desire. You breathe it. You embody it. You own it. And the best part, this isn't the end. This is the beginning. The beginning of a new pattern, a new rhythm, a new way of life. One where your inner world leads and the outer world follows. One where your imagination paints the future and your faith makes it real. One where you no longer need to get rich, because you finally understand you are rich. You always were, and now you are living in the proof. So now you stand at the threshold of your greatest becoming, not as a seeker, but as a knower. Not as someone hoping for change, but as the one commanding it. The moment you act like a millionaire, think like one, feel like one, speak like one, and believe like one, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. It is not magic, it is law. You don't need proof to begin, you begin, and the proof appears. You don't need permission, you assume the position. You become the version of you that already has it all, and life bows to meet your decision. This is your moment to remember who you are, and to walk in the boldness of that truth. Because when you act like a millionaire now, not tomorrow, not next year, but now, the universe doesn't delay, doesn't negotiate, doesn't question, it obeys.